guys? Welcome back to Undisputed Interviews. Today's guest is UFC Bantamweight prospect Adrian Yanez. How are you today, sir?
Man, I am doing good, man. I am doing good. 2025 officially here. It feels
Yeah,
good. 2024, it's a good thing to kind of look back on, kind of see what best way to say it is like what can be improved on and like what are steps are needed to make to, further the professional career and personal, so yeah, it's a
yeah,
good reset button.
yeah, absolutely. So, my first question for you today is: how did you find out about the UFC and MMA, and like what made you want to become a professional MMA fighter?
Dude, oh man, that's that itself was like wanting to do MMA came like in this weird spot, man, because I was like really big into boxing. My dad was a boxer. Uh
Oh, really?
yeah, my dad was a boxer at a young age. He competed in the Golden Gloves a couple times. He won a couple, lost. I have a newspaper clipping of my dad having a fight of the night. I think having exciting fights, just is in the bloodline because
Yeah,
my dad got the a fight of the night trophy for one of his boxing matches. So that's pretty dope and pretty cool. You know, like it like again, man, it was just so weird. Like, cause that it was such a new thing. Like it was like I was like again, I was such a bigger boxer, but like a big boxing fan. And I was watching like Miguel Cotto, Manny Pacquiao, De La Hoya, Mayweather, all these guys, Mickey Ward, Arturo Gatti, man, watching them, and it was fun. It was something I liked to watch.
yeah,
But MMA was one of those things for me, bro. Like, I'm not even gonna lie to you, man. I used to clown it. Like, I remember having like a seventh and eighth grade discussion whenever I was in middle school, and somebody was like, oh, like, man, it was the weirdest conversation, but they're like, oh, like it was like turned race baity, but it was more common back then to like kind of just talk shit, oh yeah, Mexicans do this, black people do this, white people do this and shit. And I was like, yeah, no, like us Mexican and blacks, man, we're take like we got the boxing. Like it was just a conversation. It was just like a back and forth thing going with somebody. Somebody said something about like, oh, us white guys got MMA, but at that time I had no idea like how much like I'd actually watch or like anything like that. Uh and I just remember just being like, ah, nah, that's kind of gay. I was like you got grown men in tidy whities rolling around. Like I just hit that old Bob Arum interview when they asked about MMA. Like I just hit that line. Fucking the conversation died immediately after that because they had
yeah,
nothing to come back to. But
yeah, yeah,
but yeah, nah, that's where my headspace with MMA was for the longest time until until one day like my mom was like, hey, like again, all my friends were gone, and nobody was around. My cousins, they left, they're on vacations. So pretty much I was bored at the house. My brother had a job, and my mom was like, hey, you want to go to the mall? And I was like, fuck it, let's go. Went to the mall, and I ended up running into an MMA gym, and they had kickboxing there, and I was like, well, if I'll do anything, I'll do kickboxing. And
yeah,
started I did the free trial, did the 3 free classes, and then I did the cardio kickboxing because they took away kickboxing. And then I had my first jujitsu class, and dude, after that, like I fell in love with it. I fell in love with the sport. And, like I had my glimpses here and there of watching like Matt Hughes slam Carlos Newton with the power bomb and all that stuff, and it made me like be like, oh, like this like again, this all like me seeing like UFC knockout 7, 8, and all that stuff, and seeing like those highlights, I was like, oh man, there's more to this than what I thought it was. Because again, I never would really watch it, and then finally, I did jujitsu. At first I thought it was weird. It was like I was
yeah,
like a little timid. I was like, it's a little weird, and but then all of a sudden, once you start doing it, you're just like, oh, and then yeah, it just like off to the races, man. And after that, I was like, I know what I want to do. Like literally, it just took me a month of training jujitsu for me to be like, I know what I want to do for the rest of my life, whether it's fighting, coaching, or whatever. I just wanted to have something apart to do with MMA, and after that, it was game over. Because 2 years later, like I was 15. 2 years later, I had my first fight at 17. Yeah, it was after that first fight, it was done. It was signed, sealed, deliver. I knew I'm doing this for the rest of my life, whether again being a fighter or a coach or running a gym or something like that. That's what I wanted to do.
Yeah, that's really interesting that your dad was a boxer because I'm a amateur boxer.
Uh huh.
I'm 1-0.
Hell yeah.
I'm getting there. I got another one February 22nd. So that's actually really interesting. And then yeah, I was kind of the same way. Like growing up, I did taekwondo, but I
Hmm.
always thought it was like I thought it was gay. Like I thought it was weird
Yeah.
because I was like when because the whole thing was like they're like, oh, you could use it in like street fights. I'm like, nobody's gonna be using a sidekick in a street fight. But now that like I watch MMA on the weekly, I watch like boxing on the weekly. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, it's not gay. Like this is actually
Yeah,
kind of
yeah, that
it's
especially
dope.
well, yeah, well, like man, especially back then, like that's like the terminology we were using, bro. I think like because I graduated high school in 2012, so that was definitely back in 2006, 2007 when I was talking mad shit about it. So
Yeah.
that was a completely different time, and even me just saying that right now, I sound and feel so damn old. Holy shit.
Yeah, I was about to say you when that was happening, in 2006, I wasn't even born yet.
Ah, that's fucking wild. Yeah,
I
yeah.
was
Go
born
ahead and make me feel
2007.
go ahead and make me feel old, guy.
Yeah, I mean, that's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah. So yeah, so pretty much like again, like man, you can't run from it.
Yeah.
Okay, it is what it is at that, especially at those times. There's a lot more wild shit going on back then too. So
Yeah, I mean, like at school, I'm a senior, so everybody, how high school is. There's fights, there's vaping. All these kids are like, boxing's gay. Like, what if somebody wrestles you? And I'm like, well, then I'll probably lose because I've never wrestled. But like,
yeah.
I've like I don't know, like boxing's cool. Like you gotta try it. Like you gotta try to understand it.
Oh yeah, man. Boxing for sure. Like it's one of those things that like at least one time in my life I do want to step in the boxing ring one time at
Yeah,
least. So that's a goal. That's a goal of mine for sure. Like, hey, if Dana White does that Zuffa boxing stuff, then 100% I'm with it.
what's your
I'll ask
walk
for
around
one.
weight?
Walk around weight, man, dude, like it depends. Like for me as of right now, I've like again I kind of want to get a quick turnaround. So
Mm,
like even during these holidays, man, like I kept my weight pretty low. Like I'm at
yeah,
like the heaviest I've been was 55, but I've been consistently around 53, 54. Cause again, like I want I want to be able to be like, hey, 2 weeks, hey, you want to fight? Like, oh yeah, I'm there.
yeah,
Never really got out of shape. Didn't come out injured after that fight. I was like, nah, not like again. I just want to get in there immediately. So that's where I'm at.
yeah. Cause I fight at like 43, I think
Mhm.
43, 48. I'm like 34 right now.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
So.
so I need to gain weight. I got to get some like more muscle.
Oh yeah. No.
Yeah,
Or even then, what the next weight class would be 35. Well, for amateurs, it might be a little bit different, right? What's the weight classes for?
I think the one I would compete in right now at my weight is 39.
Okay. Yeah, well, shoot,
Yeah,
man. If you feel good, you feel comfortable there, man. I don't feel like you would need to build muscle, but if you want to build the muscle, build a
yeah,
little bit extra, that's always cool. Uh, but again, I tell fighters this. Like, I was actually talking to a fighter earlier today, because I came back from sparring. We're sparring. Uh, and in the locker room, I was talking to this guy, and I was like, man, this guy is like, he can make 35, but he's just a fat ass. And I looked at him, I was like, hey, where was your last fight at? And he's just like, oh, I was at 45, and we're talking a bit, and he's like, yeah, no, like I walk around 55, and he was talking about how he cut, and last time he cut, he weighed 2 pounds underneath, and I was at 45, and I was like, so realistically, you could make 35, but if you feel good at that weight, don't
yeah,
change it. Don't kill yourself right now, especially right now. Like as an amateur, don't kill yourself, bro.
yeah,
Because again, once you start adding on that weight, you add on that weight, it's gonna get a little bit harder to cut down, like to get back down, especially if you want to go down to a lower weight class or if you want to like again, there's always going to be plus and minuses to certain things. Sometimes you might gain strength, you might lose a little bit of speed. So wherever
yeah,
you feel comfortable at, that's the best. That's the best place. I tell people, I was like, hey, like we have a fighter who was making his cut from 170, 155, and he would usually kind of be around 75 and then cut to 70. And he was like, I think I can cut to 55, and he got close, but he got close to making it. Still missed weight, but fuck, yeah. Like I'd prefer him to go back up to 170 and just kind of just like eat comfortable, but he's insistent on wanting to make 55. So I was like, you know what? Like I'll leave it up to the fighter as well too. So if you want to move up, yeah, go ahead. Eat away,
Yeah.
dog.
Would you ever fight at 45?
Man, it depends. It depends because like right now, like there was a point in time, man. Like last year, I got pretty big, man. I was having trouble getting past 160.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was walking around 67. You know, it was funny because I went to go help out Diego Lopez for he I think who's he gonna fight then? He was gonna fight Brian Ortega.
Yeah,
Wait,
yeah,
was
yeah.
he? Wait. No.
Yeah, he fought Ortega, I think, right?
Yeah, because he fought 3 times last year. No, he was gonna fight Sadiq. So
Said he did.
he wanted some good boxers in his camp. So I went out there for like 2 weeks, and my other training partner went. We were supposed to stay for 2 weeks. He stayed longer, but like I remember we went to the sauna at the UCPI, and Kamaru Usman walks in. He looks at me. He's like, so hey man, what weight class do you fight at? I was like, oh, at 35. He's like, what? He was like, yeah. I was like, yeah. I was like, man, I'm not gonna lie, man. I thought you were an out of camp 45er. I was like, oh fuck. I was like, damn it. I was like, I'm supposed to look like an out of camp 35er, not an out of camp 45. I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
fuck.
yeah,
I gotta start cutting weight now, bro. So yeah, luckily for me, you know, I was able to get my weight down. But
yeah,
dude, that like getting I can't let myself get past 160 anymore because if I do, man, it just gets tougher and tougher to bring the weight down, man. Like this last camp, I ended up working with a nutritionist and like a weight cut specialist, and man, made weight so easy. And uh, so I was like, you know what? I'm keeping this like my weight low. You know, I'm not gonna let
yeah,
it shoot back up because man, like I've had terrible cuts. I've like this last one was the most fan like was the best weight cut I've ever had. But yeah, again, for me, I just want to try to keep my weight lower so I can keep training at a certain intensity and be able to eat a good amount and not be killing myself, you know, being like, oh man, I'm 165. I have 8 weeks to make 135. You know, I'm 30 pounds over. And then most of that time you're just trying to cut the 10
yeah,
pounds just to get in a cutting distance, you know. So and a lot of times that you cut back your calories, you cut back your carbs, your proteins, all that stuff, and you start feeling like shit. So there's a lot of things that go into it, and I'm just glad like I'm just trying to keep my weight a little bit lower now because man, it got a little spooky at times.
yeah. Like, I was in the gym the other day talking about my fight, and one of the coaches came up to me. He's like, "You fight at 150, right?" And I was like, "No, I fight at like right now I'm 39."
Yeah.
He was like, "What? You look 150, kid?" And I was like, "I'm not that fat, bro."
Yeah.
I was like,
No.
"Nah." He's like, "Man, you need to do more sit-ups, kid." I was like, "All right."
Yeah. Now there's a lot of guys that in the gym that I know that are like fat, like skinny fat. And it's
Yeah,
like it's a weird thing because man, it's like bro, like I look at them like, man, how are you 160? Like, cause you used to fight at 35. Like, I know this guy, like I seen it, bro. Like you used to fight at 135 and just you see him, he's a fat 175, but he's still skinny. And I'm just like,
yeah.
bro, like how like I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get
That's how I am.
it.
Everybody thinks I'm heavier than I actually am.
Hey man, you know, it is what it is, you know? How tall
Yeah,
are you though?
I'm 5'8".
Oh,
I'm 5'8".
yeah, you're probably still not done growing.
Yeah, a lot of people like when I say my weight, people are like, "Dude, you're underweight. You got to gain weight." I'm like, I
Hmm.
feel good at 136, 139. Like I feel quick.
Yeah, I would just say just probably just shift your eating a little bit.
Yeah.
Shift your eating a little bit, like because a lot of times what I've noticed is like a lot of people will be like their macros will be like super off, you know, and it'll like some of the body will recover, but not all of it,
Hmm.
you know. So if you don't get the right nutrition in your diet, a lot of times like you can man, like a lot of people will be like, oh man, if I just go if I go work out if I go work out, you know, and I come back out, or like a lot of these people will do like dirty bulks, and they'll just eat whatever the fuck they want, like the big family size bag of chips because that right there is probably like over 1,000 calories, and they just drink a milkshake. They do all this stuff where they can try to eat like 4,000 calories, but then you see some of these guys that do a cleaner bulk, and you can really see the difference and like see them stay lean and all that shit. But yeah, like the nutrition would just need to shift a little bit to like so
Yeah,
people can be like, oh yeah, you are that weight.
yeah, because I won't lie, my coach, he might get upset. He's been telling me to eat clean. So
Yeah.
I was like, so I'm bad at it, so I'll have to send pictures of everything I eat. But then at night, I'll grab a pack of candy and I'll be like,
Oh
dang, I
yeah.
ate good. It's so
That used to
tempting.
be
And
me.
then, yeah.
Oh,
But
bro, like I was the king of doing this. Like, so I would have I have my fitness pal, so I'd have it. I have the macros and calories and all that stuff. I
mhm.
would check, like, especially this is right after Halloween too, so
Oh yeah.
especially for this last camp. So my son ended up getting a whole bunch of candy, and then I would see what fun size candy would fit my macros. So I'd be
Yeah.
like, oh shit, so I can eat three fun size Snickers if I do this and this. I can have three fun size Snickers right after dinner. It's like, all right, fuck yeah, you know? So
Yeah.
a calorie count and all that stuff, will help you out too, and it make you like be able to have a little cheat if you want to, man. So yeah,
Yeah.
fine and give or take.
Oh yeah. I get what you mean. But obviously you just fought at UFC Tampa, Daniel Marcos.
Hmm.
You went on Instagram or something saying you thought you won the fight or you wanted a rematch.
Yeah.
What rounds did you think you won? Because I personally thought you won. I clearly thought you won the first and I think the second.
Yeah, I would say I'd say that too. Like even then, like I like kind of looking back, the fight was really close. Like
Yeah.
again, like I'm not gonna go out there and be like, oh, it's a robbery, it's this and that. Like I'll let everybody else say it, but I'm not gonna say it because it's like I could have won that fight if I did the last 30 to 45 seconds. If I pushed it a
Hmm.
little bit more and struck a little bit more. But like again, there's a lot of things that kind of went into that. Like the last 30, it was just kind of it was a lot. Like there's a lot to explain. But like I found it weird because I was like, man, I felt like I was landing a lot in the first round. And then like but the big thing came out of that first round was like he threw that right hand and I rolled with the shot and it looked worse because I was like, fuck. I remember seeing it very last minute, last second, and I remember rolling with it because I was like, I can't take that punch full force. And then fucking right after that, it kind of like I turned with it, and then I was like, oh shit, like damn, that like had a little more power than I thought. My legs, like like again, like when you get hit with a good shot, you kind of feel it. Like that one, it
Yeah.
didn't feel like anything, but like optically, like I was like, oh yeah, like it was a big shot. I heard the crowd, and I was like, oh okay, I got to fight back on this. And he tried to go for it, and nothing really landed. And then I felt like after that point, I started landing a little bit more. I know the nut shot and the eye poke kind of took me out of like the rhythm, and it was kind of hard to get back in it. But even then, like I still felt like I was landing a lot.
Hmm.
Uh, that second round definitely, I felt like I definitely took that. Like the first round could be debatable just because of the fact that he landed that hard shot.
Yeah.
The second round, I feel like I clearly took that round because I rocked him in that round, and I felt like I outstruck him in that round. That third round is actually where I've talked to judges, because again, like I'm one of those guys that like I want to know why. I want to know why. Like I want to see what I can do to close this gap of like because it was a close split decision.
Hmm.
Like uh like in that Davy Grant fight, I got to a split decision. Again, I did the same thing. I started asking people like, what do you see from this fight where I can like where this scorecard would be like this? And like I started asking around. So this fight, I asked judges, uh man, crazy enough, the judges that I talked to gave me the third. They gave him the first, me the second, and they gave me the third. And the reason that they gave me that explanation was because it's like he might have got the takedowns,
Hmm.
but there was nothing done. Like
Yeah.
no advancement, no damage. He threw one good elbow, but that one really like to me in the moment, it really didn't land. I got like kind of like his wrist and his forearm.
Yeah.
Uh, and then got back up. But even then, like in the beginning of the first 10 seconds, went to the middle and I threw a left hook and rocked him really bad. Uh, but like the judges, like kind of were like the judges I was talking to, like they're the scoring criteria for them. Like, well, again, it's a scoring criteria for all of MMAs. Like they judge damage over everything, and even with the takedowns, they still scored it for me just because of the fact that my me landing that hook was like I put myself in a position to end that fight. I
Hmm.
was closer to ending that fight in that third round than he was that whole entire round. That first round, that's why they gave it to him because that right hand looked a lot worse than what it was. So
Yeah.
uh optically, it was kind of one of those things where like again, like the judge that scored it 30-27 like completely for him, I'm just sitting back, I'm just like fucking kidding me
There's no
because
way.
like I'm like, bro, like there's no way. Like that's at least that second round for sure. I
Yeah.
took that round. Like I for sure took that second round. That third round, I get it. Like, some judges like they look at scoring differently. It's supposed to be based on damage. And again, I rocked him in that third round, but again, you know, wrestling and having that top position kind of really screwed it up for me. But again, yeah, like again, I'm not saying I should have won. Man, again, like those three judges, two judges thought I lost. So hey, those are the only opinions that matter, and I got to go in there and start closing those holes and start looking at things differently because man, uh, I was just talking to my training partner about this, and it's kind of one of those things where it's either I'm straight running through people or I'm getting split decisions. Like
Yeah.
there's no in between unless I take a loss, unless I lose, unless Jonathan Martinez kicks me or fucking Rob Font clips
Rough
me,
luck.
so it's like it's what is it, so it's like it's kind of hard and I don't want to take those uh I like again I have to see. I got to see what they're looking at in my fights and trying to see where I can start closing these gaps cuz man, like I can't do another half a paycheck, man. That's not like, bro, like again, I'm not doing it. Like I'm not fucking doing it, especially whenever like after a fight, he needs help walking, like he's getting limped around, carried around everywhere, and I'm just walking around fine. Like I like that to me was actually what fucking made me more pissed than what I was,
Yeah.
like the fight was good and everybody's telling me it's good. I'm still pissed off of my performance and all that stuff. I'm like I'm my own harshest critic. But what really pissed me off is like his coaches are helping him walk and all that stuff. And me, I'm walking completely fine. The only thing I need to do is just have my eye checked out. And yeah, I'm just sitting back like, bro, what the fuck, man? What the
Yeah.
fuck?
Like I remember after the fight, Marcos was walking out the octagon, and he looked at me, and I said, "Yanez won that fight," and he just went and
Yeah,
walked away, and I was like, "Oh, okay." Like,
I'm not gonna lie. It's like he's weird. He's weird because like immediately after like I seen him do this in fights. Like, I seen him do this in fights, and wish I would have brought it up to the referee beforehand.
hmm.
Is he like? There's a lot of fouls in his fights. Like
That's true.
he fouls these guys a lot, and like the nut shots, like even then, like he had that with our I'm gonna fuck his name up, or like the Asian guy that he fought that went to a no contest because he kept kicking him in the dick. Like that fight. I think of the Davy Grant. I forget if it was him or Davy, but got eye poked, and then John Castaneda he clipped him in the nuts, and then like even the fight before that, like he's
Yeah.
had moments where he's fouled guys and all that stuff, and for me, like that was pretty blatant, where he
Hmm.
like, and I could hear it right after. I got kicked in the nuts, poked in the eye, and he goes, "No, no, no!" Like he's like, "No, like he didn't do that." Like I'm just like, "All right, bro," So, but I wish I would have brought that up to the ref beforehand, because bro, like, I that was a misstep by me too, because like it was a two for one, uh, and it just kind of really fucked me up and kind of put me out my rhythm, even though it was like in the first 3 minutes of the fight. So
Yeah.
that kind of took me. So I was like, because they also like with that eye poke, Vaseline got in my eye, and bro, I I don't want to talk down on her, But I know like she made that call for Kobe in the main event, but man, like I was trying to grab the little like they gave me something cloth so I can wipe my eye with.
Are you talking about the ringside doctor?
Yeah, that ringside
Okay.
doctor. Yeah, I don't want to talk shit on her or anything like that.
Yeah.
But like it just didn't feel like she wasn't 100% knowing what she was doing because she first off like in Vegas, bro, 100%. Like if I asked for a rag or a towel, they would have gave it to me so I could wipe my eye. But there she was adamant on her holding on to the tower, whatever they gave me to wipe my eye. And I was like, here, can I
Hmm.
have it? Like, bro, like I need to get in. Like, and like every time I was like going, I had to go down to her hand and like start wiping my eye. And I'm just like, woman, like I need this. Like, give it to me. And she's
Yeah.
like, no, I can't let you have it and hold it. And I'm like, the fuck? What the fuck am I gonna do with this gauze or whatever the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, what am I gonna
Yeah.
do with it? I'm just trying to wipe my eye. Uh, and it was just weird. I couldn't get all of the Vaseline out. And then I found out after the fight that uh the Vaseline that they put on you has adrenaline in it. So not only was my eye blurry from the Vaseline, it was also slightly burning because of the adrenaline in the Vaseline. So I'm like,
Yeah. Oh wow.
so like whenever you get if you get cut,
Hmm.
to help stop the bleeding, they put it right on, help stop it. So that was in my eye.
That's
So
shit.
it really freaked me the fuck out because also too like right after the eye poke there was like blood like kind of almost crying out and I'm like oh shit. So it was weird. It was this weird thing because like I thought it was gonna be way worse than what it was in that moment, but it was just small. I couldn't really see out my left eye. I was burning. My depth perception was off. It was it was weird. But I should have done my due diligence and brought that up to the ref, before
Yeah.
the fight.
Do you want a rematch with them? Is that something you want next?
Oh, absolutely. Like, yeah, I would 100% want their rematch. It was for me, it was like for the fans, I think it was a good fight, especially those first two rounds.
Yeah.
Third round, lackadaisical a little bit. He was just looking to squeak out with a W. He was like trying to find little ways to kill time and all that stuff. And because he knew, and if he put himself in danger with me, like he was getting hurt. So, uh, and yeah, one thing I will say that kind of annoyed me about him is he did the whole Max Holloway points at the ground and then shoots in right after. I'm like, you bitch. But that's just me just being nitpicky, man. I'm not even gonna lie about that.
Have
I'll just
you
like
have
yeah.
you reached out to the UFC for a rematch? Is that something you've asked them
No, I
for?
haven't I haven't asked for it. No. No, like I'm just getting back to my manager being like, hey, bro, like what's the schedule looking like? I would like to get back in ASAP. My weight's low. If I can get something booked where I can have a camp March, April. Uh but if not, my weight's low in cutting distance, so I'll be ready. I'll be good and locked and loaded, ready to go whenever. But even then, man, if because I don't think they would want to run that back immediately. I
Yeah, I
think
don't
if it
think
was a
so.
little bit more egregious, like they would, but like I don't think that'll be next
What
for
about
sure.
Montel Jackson?
That would be good, but he's in the top 15, and that's not a fight I deserve at the moment. Like again, like I gotta look at things very realistically.
Yeah.
Montel is in the top 15.
Uh-huh.
He deserves, especially after his last fight where he stopped the guy in like literally less than 20 seconds.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
deserves to fight someone higher in the rankings, either a spot or two before. Matter of fact, he would probably get Marcos next, because Marcos just beat me. So like this, like again, like it's kind of one of those weird things. I took a step back, Marcos took a step forward,
Yeah.
so uh even for me to get a rematch with Marcos, I have to win. Either my next fight has to be like I steamroll through this guy and it makes a little bit more sense to be like, okay, cool, Marcos, all right, we can have that fight next. Or like again, like I steamroll a guy, they'd be like, okay, well, we can fight somebody just outside the top 15. I don't I wouldn't get a Montel Jackson next because again he's ranked. That's like me getting awarded for a bad night,
Yeah, yeah, I get
So
what you mean.
you know so It would be fun though. That would be fun. Absolutely. You know, if the UC would want to do somebody that's ranked, then fuck yeah. Like I'll
Yeah,
I don't mind squeaking by and getting something getting something that I'm not supposed to have. I don't mind it.
yeah,
I
yeah.
take
Yeah.
free shit all the time, guys.
Would you would you take a fight at featherweight on short notice if someone in the featherweight division fell out? They call you. Is that something
it
you would entertain?
it's very dependable. It's very
Hmm.
dependable. Like I'd yeah, like I would do it for sure. It just depends on the person. Like
Yeah.
I'm not really picky again. Like especially like if it's a short, like a super short notice, like it's fight week, and I'm like again, like fight week, I'm in Vegas. They're like, oh well, it's Wednesday. We have nobody to fight this guy, and I'm just there. And I'm like, hey, I'll fucking fight. Like I'll do that all
Yeah.
day, you know. Uh, if they have like an extra 2 weeks, I'm like, I might as well just wait till for a 35 fight. I don't mind, like I don't mind it. But again, if I was walking around heavier, I'd be like, fuck yeah, nah. But I'm like, my weight's a little bit lower, so I'm cool.
Yeah, yeah. Dude, you and Charles Jourdain,
Oh
that
yeah,
fight,
that'd be a fucking
that
dope
fight would
fight.
be dope.
That would be a
Or
dope fight.
if you were at 45, you and Andre Feely.
That would be fun. I like him a lot, man. He's
Yeah, me
very
too.
entertaining. Yeah,
I'm trying to get
very
him on the
interesting.
channel. I'm
Hell
trying.
yeah.
I'm trying, I tagged him in it. He's seen it, but he ain't saying
Come
nothing.
on,
So
touchy feely. Come
yeah,
on, touchy feely.
let's get you on the channel, man. But what were your thoughts on Cameron Smootherman's performance against Jake Hadley back in October? I know he's your teammate. Did
Oh
the
yeah.
fight play out how you thought it was going to?
Yeah, a little bit more dick kicks and eye gouging,
Okay, yeah,
than my fight. And I'm like, shit, like we were talking about it too, because he had the same problem with the Vaseline in his eye and all that stuff, and it kind of threw him out. But it was very solid. You know, he fought a guy. He came in on like literally 2 or 3 days notice
yeah.
and
Hmm.
came in from overseas. Like he was in Saudi Arabia and flew
Yeah.
out. So yeah, he when he got in there, it wasn't like his contenders fight. Like his contenders fight, he didn't feel like he looked uncomfortable in there. You know, when he fought in the UFC, like in October, man, he just looked composed in there. He looked ready. He looked like he's already fought in the UFC before. So I was really impressed with how he fought. Uh, to me, I thought the fight was like 30-27 all around. But if I'm gonna give an
Hmm.
objective look, there was a 29-28. Uh, but yeah, he looked very solid in there, man. And I can't wait for him to get his next fight book, man. Because again, I feel like it's gonna be our year, man. We're gonna have a lot of fun fights, you know. It's gonna be a lot of fun fights.
Yeah, I do gotta apologize to Cameron. I said he's gonna get. I said that Jake Hadley was gonna get the knockout because
Yeah.
I'm a big Jake Hadley fan. Like I really like the kid,
Uh-huh.
so I was like, oh, Hadley just beat up Lochran.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, Hadley gonna go in there and get a TKO, and then he lost, and I was like, my bad. I slept on it.
Yeah, no,
I was like, dang, that was crazy.
yeah,
So,
no, we like it's like bro, as soon as we found out it was Jake Hadley, we just immediately started game planning. And
hmm,
also for me, like I kind of had my eye on him anyways, just because I didn't know where in the position I was at the time. If so I was already had my eye on Jake Hadley. Cameron,
yeah,
he was like in that weird limbo spot where he didn't know what was going on. And pretty much like it was just kind of easy. It's like, okay, cool. Like and then once we got to Vegas, we drilled the whole entire time for the
hmm,
weight cut process and he made it pretty smoothly. But yeah, he was you know, again, like we it might have been super short notice, but we came in prepared. We prepared as much as we could for that within those couple days. You know, Jake, unfortunate events,
he got
man.
cut.
Yeah, unfortunate, you know, but from what I understood, you know, I think when he got signed by the UFC immediately, like there was already pushback from the jump. So I just think I just don't know where like stuff behind the scenes what happened. So,
Yeah,
you know,
I
it
thought
is
that
what
was
it
weird.
is.
I
Yeah,
thought
there's
that
a
was
lot of weird
weird.
things, man. A lot of weird things, but again, you got to treat the people around you very nicely. You know, if you got to be respectful to everybody around you. So, you know, that's my advice to every fighter up and coming. If you get in the UFC, don't act like you're all that and shit,
Yeah,
because You can have one loss, and if you're a piece of shit, they'll cut you immediately.
Yeah, I mean, you last time you fought in Texas was against that Tony Kelly
Oh
dude,
yeah,
right?
Tony Kelly, yeah.
You and Cameron Smoothman on a Texas card would be dope.
Oh yeah, man.
That
For
would be dope.
sure. I would 100% love that. Man, I feel like if UFC were to come to Houston, we have a stack of fighters here that they can absolutely fill that fight card up with, man. You have myself, you have Derek Lewis, you have Alex Morano, Daniel Pineda
Miranda just
just
got to fight.
yeah, I just saw that.
He's fighting
Uh
Carlos Leo.
I'm pretty sure they wouldn't do anything till the summer. For
Yeah,
sure. Uh I know Daniel Pineda just retired, but I feel like if they were to do one more Houston, he'd be like, "Fuck it."
let's do it.
Hey,
He's a dog,
you
so
got,
I would be down to see him fight again. I like him a lot.
myself, Cameron Smotherman. I probably named myself already. And then we have we have Josh Van, Ricky
Uh-huh.
Tercios.
I
Uh,
think Van just got to fight against
yeah,
Bruno, right?
yeah, that's gonna be a good one. That's gonna
Yeah,
be a good one.
that's crazy that Bruno's coming back already after that cop fight.
Oh yeah, bro. Like again, it's just kind of one of those things where,
He probably.
like, yeah, yeah, that sucks. So, but it is what it is. It's a like I like Bruno, but I
Hmm.
again I got so much love for Van. He's a Houston guy, and I kind of pretty much seen his whole career unfold in front of me. Because
Hmm.
again, like there's only one place in Houston you're gonna go to for fights, and that's Fury. And pretty much every time he's fought, I've been there. so
You got
so
Van winning.
Oh yeah, Josh Van. Yeah, I do have Josh Van winning. He just has all the momentum right now, and
I
he
got him
has
by knockout.
he's very like confident, and
Yep.
he has that confidence within him right now, and it looks like he didn't have that like that Charles Johnson fight. Didn't really phase him too much. He just said, "Fuck it, I'm picking my bootstraps back up, and we're
Yep.
working." So, I do like that about him. So
I like Van a lot. I think I think flyweight is starting to get a lot of exciting fighters like Cop, like
oh yeah,
Van Johnson. Um, what's his name? I forget what his name is, but he just fought Charles Johnson a little bit ago.
oh
Sumudarji.
okay, yeah, yeah, bro. There's a lot of good fights out there, man. A lot of great
Yeah, yeah,
fights.
yeah. But what's your prediction for Marab versus Umar?
Man,
That's a tough one.
that's a tough one for me. I like both of them in a sense of
Hmm.
like there's like it's gonna be a fun grappling match. Like you know, they both slow down the pace very good just because of their wrestling and their how they're able to control. They have a really good wrestling. They have a really good top game. It's gonna kind of be for me. It's kind of be like who's gonna break first, and I don't know. Like Marab for the life of me, I don't get it. I don't understand how he has all this damn energy. Like he's just nonstop, and he
Yeah,
doesn't like
fighting
I don't know.
fans.
Maybe he has the best poker face in the world, but this guy will just not stop. I remember, I remember in New York whenever I went. Like this was years ago. Years ago. I think he's been over three, but he was grappling with everybody. We grappled a bit, and then he grappled everybody else. And then on top of that, like man, he's like right after the training was done. I think we did like 5 to 8 rounds, 5 minutes of rolling. And it was like every guy in there was going for it. So it was like, bro, like by the fifth round, I was just dog shit exhausted, and at that time, I was still kind of like I wasn't in the gym as much, and but Aljo was like, "Hey, I need help with that Peter Yan fight." So I was like, "Fuck it, I'm going down." But man, I was exhausted.
Yeah,
Then I think Marab was just coming back too, but this motherfucker just goes back in there. He's doing 5 5s, well, 8 5s with everybody, and then after that, he's asking me, he's like, "Hey, come on, let's move around a little bit." I was like, "All right, cool." We started moving around a little bit, like in the sense of like kind of like touch and go, touch and go, touch and go. And this motherfucker just did not want to stop. And I was like, man, bro, fuck it. You got this right now. I'm super out of shape. And seeing you come off the couch and like be in this type of shape, bro, fuck. I don't know.
yeah,
But
yeah, yeah, yeah.
but even then, Umar is really fucking solid. He's a really dynamic striker as well too. So it's gonna be fun to watch. So I'm kind of excited. I'm excited to see this.
I think a lot of people. I think it's gonna be a similar situation with Aljo and Movsar,
Mm-hmm.
where people were like, "Oh, it's grappling. It's gonna be boring." And then after the fight, a lot of people were like, "Dang, that was a good Like that was actually a good fight."
Oh yeah, I personally want to see something like that just because
Same.
like it like again, like the best thing I can go back to is Damian Maya and Ben Askren. They fucking literally stood and banged for like it was the ugliest stand and bang fight that I've seen.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, bro, y'all just fucking grapple. Like, why didn't you like bring your wrestling singlets? I don't want to see you strike. I want to see you grapple, and that's kind of what I want to see with them. I want to see who dominates what positions. Uh, Again, cardio for cardio, man. Even Umar looked really good in that fight with Corey. He didn't look like he was petering out or anything like that. So
Hmm.
I would want to see him. I would want to see both of them go at it, And I think it goes off five, but I don't have a winner in my head.
I feel like they
I'm
both have really underrated striking though, especially Umar. Umar's got good striking.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. He has the kicks. He has
Hmm.
the kicks. He's whippy with his punches, snappy. He uses his lead hand a lot. Those front kicks, man, are crazy coming from him because I
Yeah.
wouldn't have thought for him to have like those type of kicks. But yeah, it's gonna be a fun fight. Like I think that might edge out for Umar. Uh Marab striking, man. Again, bro, it's like he's very tight. He's not tight. He's very loose, and he tends to get caught in several exchanges.
Hmm.
Uh, but yeah, I'm gonna lean on. I'm gonna go Marab. I'm gonna
Yeah.
go
Same
Marab.
here. I'm going Marab. I've been saying Marab since before the fight was announced. I picked
Yeah,
O'Malley. I picked O'Malley to beat Marab because I'm just an O'Malley fanboy, and I picked like there's some fighters where like Poirier is a great one.
yeah,
I nobody was picking Poirier against Islam. I was. I like went on a 3 month Instagram thing with like every single day posting
yeah,
the shine bright reels.
yeah.
Like this many days so Poirier he knocks out Islam and then he lost and I was like I looked like a
Yeah,
dummy.
but that was close, man. That
It
was
was
really
close.
close. It was
A
super
lot of
close.
people were
So
a lot of people were like I know some people were picking Islam by like a round one submission and it almost happened in round one too.
yeah, he
I
got
was bro,
close, man.
I
He
was
got close,
nervous. I was like, no. Like
man. But
yeah. So what has been your favorite moment of your career thus far and why?
man, my favorite moment in my career. Damn, that's a good one. That is an absolute good one. Man, I'd probably have to say I have like two favorite moments.
Hmm.
Getting the contract on Contender Series.
Yeah.
That one to me was a wild one because like I don't know, it just was one of those weird things for me. I was like, man, fuck it, I'll do it.
Yeah.
I'm going for it. Like and like the stuff going on for that camp, man, there's so much going on, man. I was training in a fucking garage for most of that camp. It was it was like it was like not a fucking good time training for that fight. But then going to that fight, getting there and like being the first one on my team, like to get into the UFC, like that was a special moment. Uh that was a special moment for me because it was just kind of like, man, like God, I knew it from the beginning. Where like I knew it from the beginning, and that was like kind of like one of those like solidified moments. And then the next moment is probably, even though it's an Apex walkout, it was an Apex walkout, man. Like walking out and like getting like my debut, walking out. No, I'm trying to put on this like fake, like, man, I'm mad. I'm about to go in there and fuck this guy up. And nah, I wasn't, that wasn't it at all, man. I started walking,
Yeah.
I just started smiling. I'm like, I'm happy to be here, man. Fuck, man. This is so fucking cool. Like, I'm here. I did this. All my hard work got me here. And I'm still here, so that's the coolest part, man. I remember telling I think it was right after that fight with Michael Bisping or Michael Bisping, where I was like, man, it's like the goal is not to be a one and done guy. Like I want to be here for a very long time. And I remember you saying that it's not the hard part isn't getting to the UFC. The hard part is staying in the UFC.
Yes,
So
sir.
and that's what I want to do. And so yeah, like that's still the goal. It's still the same goal. I'm still trying to be in the UFC, still trying to get more contracts underneath my belt, man. So fuck yeah, for me, I'm ready. I'm good. I'm locked and loaded, ready to go.
Yeah, I know. There's been a couple UFC fighters, and like Sam Alvey. Obviously,
Mhm.
he's not in the UFC anymore, but that have asked that question too, and most of them have said get in the contract, which is
Oh
super
yeah.
dope. That like because like I think a big moment. I think a big one that put you on the map was when you knocked out the Tony Kelly dude, and you had blood all over your nose, flipping him off. I
Oh
think
yeah.
that was a big moment. So I thought you were gonna say that, to be honest. I thought you were gonna be like, yeah, flipping
That
that dude
one is
off.
that one's up there. That
Yeah.
one's up there. There was a lot of shit that even happened for that fight, but like man, it was just one of those that like that one was surreal too. Like walking out and seeing everything, like the lights, seeing like that was my first time fighting in front of that big of a crowd, and
Hmm.
it was it was nuts. But uh, but like again, just getting my hands on the contract
Yeah.
and also like walking out for the first time for my first UFC fight. Again, that's fucking wild. I would probably say that one's a close third. That's a close
Yeah. Yeah.
third.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, do you so with the International Fight Week,
Mhm.
like the fan experience? How far in advance did they tell you? Oh, you're gonna be doing this. Like you're gonna be at this there at this day signing the cards and whatever.
It depends. It depends. It usually depends. Like some people, like last time, they like after my fight with Venetius, like it was immediate. Like right after, I was getting checked out by the doctor. One of the UC staff came up to me and was like, "Hey, like you want to be at UCX, man?" I was like, "Oh fuck yeah!" Like I love it.
Yeah.
Like I love going. I was like, "Fuck
Yeah.
yeah, I'm down." Like yeah, I'm down to go work. I'm down to go make some money. I'm here for it. Let's go. But there's been times where it's like a couple weeks ahead. Like that one with Venetius was like a whole month and a half ahead. Uh, the time before that, the first time I went, the UFC Twitch team called out for me to come, and like they were like they let me know like 2 months ahead of time. Uh, and that was like my first one, so they wanted me to be out there. Actually, no,
Hmm.
no, that one was super short notice because I had just not like that was right after the Tony Kelly fight. Right after I fought Tony Kelly, like they wanted me. So it was like a month. Like not a month. It was like the week right after I fought him. So it was like less than a month. Like less than a month out. But every time before, it's usually been a little bit before.
Yeah, because my birthday's in June, so the
Oh
same
hell
month it
yeah.
all happens. So for my 18th birthday, I want to go to the UFC X experience.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
There's a
I
lot of
would.
dope stuff there, man. A
Yeah,
lot of
yeah,
dope
yeah.
stuff.
My only request is that Dustin Poirier is there because, dude, I need to meet Dustin Poirier. My friend met him. My
Yeah.
friend met him at like the dentist or something. It was super weird. Like his dentist knew Poirier,
Yeah.
so they got Poirier to go meet him at the dentist's office. I was
Oh
like, bro,
shit. That's
I
cool.
want, I want Poirier to visit me at the dentist, dude. I hate the dentist, you
Hell
know?
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So that was super dope. But my final question for you tonight is what is your advice? I know some fighters have said they don't have nerves before the fight, but what is your advice on how to handle and overcome the nerves and the anxieties while you're backstage before you walk out for the fight, and how are you able to use those nerves to your advantage in the fight itself?
Man, like I used to tell people all the time, it's like, man, you gotta get angry, you gotta do this. It's like, nah, man, you just gotta feel those emotions. You just gotta
Yeah,
feel them. Like you don't suppress them because then at the same time, like it's gonna really fuck you up. Like really just feel your emotions, man. If you're fucking like having anxiety, bro, just breathe it out, man. Go through it. Like start telling yourself, why am I feeling like this anxiety? Why am I why am I feeling the way I feel? And then you start addressing the problem, start going here. Again, it's a normal fight day, bro. Like you're gonna fuck like
yeah,
everybody's in there just like, oh fuck, I gotta go fight. Man, just address the problems that are there. It's like, man, like fuck, like was I out of shape last week? You're not out of shape today. No, man. There's a whole bunch of things you gotta talk to yourself about. Just feel the emotions, go through them. Don't sit back and try to suppress them, because that's whenever like you start doing stuff that's not true to yourself, man. If you didn't do it all camp, don't do it now. Don't try to make yourself
Yeah,
angry. And like every time you go spar, man, you get the little nerves, man. You know how to deal with it. Then you deal with it the same way, man. Deal with it the same way. Like try not to do anything that you wouldn't have done, in camp. Don't be
yeah,
like, oh man, man, I got like, man, fuck it. Like today, I'm sad, but I don't want to fucking be sad. Like I'm gonna make myself angry. Fuck it. Like fake the emotions. Don't fake your emotions, man. Fuck it. There's been times where I wanted to walk out super pissed off, but trying to make a fake emotion. But that wasn't me. Like I was happy. Like again, like my UC debut, walking out, I was trying to be like all pissed off, like I'm a fuck this. Walking out, I was like, man, fuck that, man. I'm here, dude. Fuck it. Like I'm
yeah,
happy, bro. I'm can't wait to get in there. So yeah, don't fake it. Don't fake it. Don't
yeah.
fake
Like
it. Be true to yourself. And if you're having nerves, man, just feel through it. Don't put yourself in a position where you have to put it in the back, man. Just go through it, because I'm telling you, it's gonna pass. And once it passes, once you start making that walk, everything goes away. And once you're in that cage, you're just like, ring the fucking bell. Let's fucking go.
yeah, like I know some fighters like I forget who. Somebody told me they get it out by crying, like they cry backstage, and that's how they get it out. But me, I'm just big in like manifest, like breathing and manifestation. Like
Yeah.
I don't care, like laying in my bed, laying on the mats in the gym, and just visualizing. Yeah, I'm big in that. Like I think that's what really helps me. Like I didn't do it the first time, my first fight, because it's my first fight, and I took on like a couple days notice, and I won. You know,
Yeah.
they. My biggest thing with that fight is they tried cheating me out the knockout. They gave him an 8 count when I was like, he's out. I thought he was done.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey,
I was.
man, it is what it is,
I still got the win, but
Yeah.
the first thing I said to my coach was they robbed me of that knockout, and he told me to shut. He was like, "Shut your mouth and go sit down." So I was like, "Okay." I'm my bad, coach. But I appreciate you being on the channel, man. It was an honor to have you on.
All
So I
right, brother.
appreciate it.
Yeah, have a good one, man.
You
Hell
too,
yeah.
man. Appreciate you.
Later.